to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
This is Colm McGuigan for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm delighted to be joined today by Terence Crawford. Terence, how are you keeping?
I'm doing good.
It's good to speak to you. You're back out on December 10th in Omaha, Nebraska against David Avanesyan. What weaknesses do you think you can exploit in David's game?
You have to wait on Saturday. I can't give you too much info, but I'm pretty sure, he's looking at tape and, trying to figure out my weaknesses, and as well as me and my team is doing the same.
He's more well known in the UK, maybe not so much in the US, but he's a very tough, durable opponent. Do you think this is the type of opponent that you needed to keep yourself ticking over with the disappointment of the Spence fight not being made?
Oh yeah, he's a very tough opponent, and we respect him, and we not overlooking him, and we training real hard for this fight December 10th.
Obviously, the question on everyone's lips is, why did the Spence fight not happen? And I've seen you going back and forward, but in your opinion, why did that fight not happen?
I don't know. I just think, the fight didn't happen for a number of reasons, and some of the reasons I don't have the answers to.
It was a legacy fight, and I'll tell you what legacy means to me in terms of Terence Crawford, right? So if I'm thinking of legacy, I'm thinking of a 3-weight world champion, undisputed world champion, fighter of the year, and a lineal champion in 2 different weight classes. Now, that for me, that's your legacy in the sport. Forget about the Spence fight for a second. But what about Errol Spence? What's his legacy in the sport right now, in your opinion?
Yeah, for sure. That's 100% accurate. My accomplishments speaks for itself. I don't want to discredit or take anything away from Errol Spence, but all his achievements have been in one division, and he's a unified world champion.
Obviously, as well, talk to me about the biggest wins of your career and compare them to the biggest wins of Errol Spence's career. For me, your biggest win, probably, if we're talking big wins, we're talking Jeff Horn, we're talking about the time when you became undisputed against Ndongo, and probably would throw Sean Porter into that conversation. Would you agree with those?
Yeah, for sure. I think Victor Poster was a great win. I actually think, Gamboa was a significant win in my career. Of course, Jeff Horn was a significant win, being that he got the decision over Pacquiao, and that was a fight that, we've been reaching for some years, and for us to, do what we did to Jeff Horn, that was a significant victory for me in my career. And not only Sean Porter, but actually, Kell Brook as well, because a lot of people, they were saying I wasn't ready for Kell Brook or Sean Porter because I was a smaller guy. So, I think both of those fights, was significant wins as well.
How do you compare those to the biggest wins of Errol Spence's career? And what would you say are his big wins?
Well, I would say those 2 fighters is 2 significant wins in his career as well, because those was 2 fights that he won the title. And he won the title from Kell Brook, and he won the title from Sean Porter, So I think those 2 wins was 2 of his biggest wins of his career as well.
Do you think Spence didn't want this fight with you when it all came down to it?
Me personally, I think he wanted to fight. I think he, he really wanted to fight, but it was the business behind closed doors that led the fight to not being made at the proper time that, everybody wanted the fight to happen.
Do you think that this fight does happen at some point in the future, or can you not say?
Well, I hope, like I've been saying for years, that's the fight that I've been, shooting for. But I'm not gonna, wait on that fight like I was waiting on the Manny Pacquiao fight. I'm not gonna wait on any fight. I'm gonna continue to keep fighting and, and do what I gotta do for me and my career.
You became undisputed at 140. Due to the politics of the sport, you didn't get the chance to become undisputed at 135. If you don't get the chance to become undisputed at 147, will that be a regret in your career?
Not at all. I wouldn't say it was a regret in my career. It's just something that just didn't happen. For me, I already know what it feels like to have all the belts. So I don't I don't look at it as any regret. I wouldn't beat myself up about it. It's just something that just didn't happen. But for me personally, uh, I know I can look in my room and I can see every single belt, you know, that I've accomplished and that I had that everybody wants. So, you know, I sleep real well at night, knowing that I accomplished everything that I set my sights on.
We've seen the back and forth on Twitter between you both. It seems like there is a genuine dislike there between you two. Is it a genuine dislike or is it just business for you?
Well, it's just business, but at the same time, it becomes a lot of dislikes when people, they say negative things and, they lie about certain situations. So, do I dislike them? No, I don't dislike them. At the end of the day, it's business.
He spoke about a multi-city promotion tour when the fight was made. He said that it was almost close to happening. Where would that promotion have taken place, and where would the fight actually have taken place? Vegas, I imagine.
Yeah, it would have happened in Vegas, but I don't know when a tour or anything of that would have happened or anything.
Okay, and who else do you want in this division if you don't get Spence next?
Well, that's the biggest fight in the division right now, so mainly, that's where my eyes is set on. If that fight don't happen, then we got to go to the drawing board and see what's the next biggest fight for Terence Crawford.
Finally, what do you make of Spence and Thurman being ordered? What's your opinion on that?
Well, that's the biggest fight, that could be made for Spence right now. If it's not a Terence Crawford fight, Keith Thurman is the next biggest name in the welterweight division. So I wasn't surprised by, the WBC ordering Thurman versus Spence, being that they both is PBC fighters and advised by Al Heyman. So
how do you think that fight goes?
it's a good fight. I just think, Spence is gonna edge Thurman out because Thurman got too much respect for Spence, and he's gonna go in there not fighting his fight because he's gonna be a little too worried about Spence punch power and how strong he is.
Well, Terence, thank you very much for your time here on IFL TV, and hopefully we'll catch up with you before December 10th. I appreciate it.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
I'm going to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.